Welcome back. We're at the swimming event for the Women's World Championships here from Warsaw, Poland. This is the first heat kicking off. We have what's really important for us is out in lane 1. We have Katerina Kurskina from Russia, who finished 8th in the fencing, just concluded recently, a few minutes ago. Anastasia Prokopenko in lane 6. Those are the two athletes that actually have a shot at the podium today. I'm here with Heather Fell, and she is a great swimming expert.
Well, we've got the slowest heat to start with. So this is heat 1 of the 6 heats in this women's final today in Warsaw, the World Championships. But it's very important for the points. So we're not going to see the fastest times of the day, but these swimmers are going to be looking to try and get as many points as possible. So in lane 6 at the moment, we've got Prokopenko, who is actually equal second after the fencing event.
And our leaders so far in this race are Zhang from China out in lane 2. She's running head-to-head with Yablonova from Kazakhstan out in lane 5. And they flip together at the 100-meter mark. I'm sorry, the 75-meter mark.
Now the athletes are just approaching the halfway marker. This is the 100 meters to go. It's a short course to pool here at World Championships, so 8 lengths of this 25-meter pool.
That's Zhang from China. We've got Zhang from China in lane 2. She's our leader. She's got a solid body length lead and looks like she's extending it. Again, this is the second discipline of the 5 disciplines these athletes will be competing in today here at the Women's World Championship.
Now Zhang has come off the back of a strong form. She won a silver medal at the final World Cup this season, and she's currently ranked 14th in the world, so she's going to be looking to this swim to really help move her up the rankings.
And Zhang had an interesting fence. She actually tied for 11th today, so it's not out of the question. We still have the riding and combined to go, so it's not, and she is going to, at the 150 mark, she has a comfortable lead. And running second is Barbara Kodetova from the Czech Republic. And actually, Kodetova from the Czech Republic is closing. Zhang from China is dying. Kodetova is taking off here. They are head-to-head. They will flip together with 25 meters to go.
And on that last turn, China just leads, and it's going to be one 25-meter sprint to the finish now. Zhang is holding on. She's just opening that gap again. Kodetova didn't quite make it, and it's going to be neck and neck to the finish. The final 5 meters.
It's a dead heat.
All right, you call it, Rob.
Kodetova has it. Kodetova has it by less than a stroke. Less than a stroke. Kodetova and then Zhang.
Well, that was a winning time of 2 minutes 20 for the fastest athlete, Kodetova, in heat 1 of the 6 heats here at the women's final. So those athletes will be looking at their times. All of the times are converted to points. That's what happens all the way through the day here at these modern pentathlon world championships. And it doesn't necessarily matter where they finished in position-wise right now in the swimming, but it's about the points that they will have got to take forward into the riding event later this afternoon.
We are at day 5 of these World Championships, and these athletes are well adjusted to the environment. They're well adjusted to the pool. It's a beautiful day out here, and again, the field started with nearly 100 athletes. We've got a capacity crowd here on hand to watch these 6 heats. These are the top 36 athletes from the women's 3 semifinals day before yesterday. So we're going to see some fast swimming as we move down toward heat 6.
Now we really have got a packed crowd here. There is a lot of people turned out to watch. This is the first individual final. We'll have the men's final tomorrow, but this is the women's final for the 54th World Championships in 2014.
Coming up in heat 2, we've got some real interesting things going on here. Our leader from the fencing, Donata Remsaiti from Russia, will be in heat 2. Swimming's not her strong suit, but in my opinion, the athlete to watch is going to be Laura Alzdaskaite, who will be in lane 4. Laura's the Olympic champion from London 2012, and she has the absolute fastest combined in the world. So all she really needs to do here is hang with the other girls.
Yes, I mean, Laura knows that swimming isn't her strong point, but she'll be out there to get as many points as she can. And, her weapon is her combined event at the end of the day. She's had an okay fence. She's in the top half of the field. And for her, that's quite often enough. But anyway, here we are now welcoming our 6 swimmers as they come and prepare for their 200-meter final.
And we've got a Brit. We've got a Brit out in lane 6, Heather. It's going to be, can you tell us something about Freya Prentice?
Well, the British team have had a very good summer block of training. They've been at altitude, and we saw the girls who swam in the relay earlier in the week who's put some very fast times. So swimming isn't Freya's strongest event, and she does have to work very hard on her swim, but I know that they're all in a very good shape, and she'll be looking to get a personal best. For Freya, the short course pool is a real benefit to her, so she should be pleased to have a 25-meter pool to race in today.
Well, let's keep an eye on lane 5. That's Donata Rimsaiti from Russia. Donata's been European champion. She's won pretty much all you can win at the World Cup level. I think it's fair to say that we have a capacity crowd on hand. If you can hear the sound in the background. And they're off. It's a fair start for Heat 2.
Now this is Heat 2 of the 6 that we've got in this final competition, so we're going to be looking to see the times getting faster as we go on. Now it looks that Freya has just taken the lead at that first turn. Freya Prentice from Great Britain, but at the moment it's pretty much neck and neck coming up to the first 50 meters.
Yeah, you're looking at a dead heat. It's Prentice definitely had the best start, the best dive, but out in lane 3 we've got a roll from Belarus, and you know what, her turn was not that good, and now Prentice from Great Britain has it. We're talking a few inches, but these ladies are swimming stroke for stroke. It is a dead heat as they approach the 75-meter mark.
Now we've got the current leader, as we mentioned earlier, in lane 5, Donata Rimsaiti. She is currently leading the fence. She won the fencing competition by 3 hits, so she's got a lot of points on the other athletes at the moment, but she's going to be looking to, she's in one of the slower heats, so she needs to really get as many points and swim as fast as she can in this swimming final. Now we're just at the halfway mark. That's 100 meters to go, and still 5 of the athletes neck and neck.
There is not a paper's width distance between them. They are absolutely swimming stroke for stroke. Who I find interesting in this heat is Melanie McCann from Canada out in lane 2. Melanie had a superb fence, and she's a sleeper. I put her as a dark horse for the podium actually today.
Yeah, and Melanie's actually really seems to have had a good year, and it's all come together for her. And she is, you're very right, she's one you don't necessarily name when you think of the medal contenders, but she's putting herself up there.
She's actually turning first by a hair, just by a hair over a roll from Belarus. Melanie McCann is again, we have 4 swimmers really, lane 2, 3, and 4, which is McCann from Canada, a roll from Belarus, Ostoskaite from Lithuania, and Rimsaiti from Russia, swimming stroke and turning exactly at the same time. McCann has moved out. She now has going on a body length lead over the field. It's Melanie McCann from Canada going to be bringing it home.
And it really is going to be a fight for second at the moment. Melanie McCann takes it in a good time, 2:16. She'll be happy with that.
Oh, absolutely. So Melanie did a lot to help herself there. She came in seated at the 2:18 in the semifinal. She swims a 2:16, so that's a 2.5 second improvement, which is going to give her an additional 6 points, and she's going to need those points.
We're just seeing the times go through now, and all of those swimmers were faster than the previous heat. So the swimmers are performing as their predicted times and their best times this season. They are ranked from their best results so far this year, with the slowest swimmers going first, and that was the second heat, so we'll start to see the times improve as we come through into the next heat in just a moment. So we're just awaiting the swimmers for Heat 3. We've got 2 Chinese athletes, Liang and Wang. Wang finished 3rd in the 3rd World Cup this year, which was actually in China. They had a very strong performance, with China taking the podium in both 1st and 3rd at that World Cup out in Chengdu. We've got another British to watch for in this heat, Kate French, who's had a storming year, and she's up in 7th on the world rankings at the moment. But then out in lane 1, we've also got Claudia Cesarini from Italy, who's currently ranked equal 2nd after a strong fence this morning.
Yeah, and that's who I was going to talk about. Claudia Cesarini out in lane 1. She's the athlete to watch. She's seated only less than a second back from the leader, but on the other hand, she finished, as you said, Heather, she's second, and she has what it takes. I think she's going to find herself in good position after this swim. Liang, the other athlete that really could challenge, for the podium, Liang from China, who finished 8th in the fence. So as you take a look, we're already anticipating where this fight's going to be in the combined event, which is where the rubber hits the road, for these athletes.
Yeah, it's interestingly, the two athletes who in theory should be leading out this heat are bringing up the rear in the fencing so far. So they'll be hoping to move up a little bit, but they're not looking like they're going to be contenders for the overall results at the end of today.
We have in lane 3 Donna Vacalis from Canada. Donna's swimming in the same lane as her teammate. So we have I'm sitting in British section.
I think you can tell, which supporters we've got behind us here.
Here we go. It was quiet for the start. Again, this is the 3rd heat of the Women's World Championship swimming event, 200-meter freestyle. And they're off, and it's a fair start. I don't know what it is, but lane 6 always seems to get the jump. Lang from China out in lane 6 has a very early, half a meter lead. She turns first at the 25-meter mark.
Now, it's interesting to see at World Championships. You can often, it's the time of year when we're most likely to see the fastest swim times. These athletes will have peaked specifically for this competition, and it will be their main target of the year. So we're hoping to see some really fast times as the day goes on today.
Our early leaders at the 50-meter mark, Donna Vacalis from Canada and Wangshao Lang from China, early leaders. However, we have moving up really strong at going to the 75-meter mark, Kate French from Great Britain.
So at the 75-meter turn, Kate French, I think, actually just takes the lead, or equal with Donna Vacalis of Canada. And out in lane 2, Wang from China is also in the mix, but we are only just coming up to halfway, so a lot can still happen.
It's Vacalis, French, and Liang. Those are our leaders. Vacalis, French, and Lang. Lang has a very, very marginal lead, about a half a stroke, and they're approaching the 125 mark.
Now, interestingly, the Hungarian Alexstrevez is actually dropping a little bit from her entered time. She should be leading out this heat, but she's struggling, and the athletes in the lead are very much Canada, with Donna Vacalis, Kate French from Great Britain, and Liang from China at the moment, coming up to the 150-meter mark.
Yeah, again, you've got Vacalis, our leader, and Liang and French. Now they got 50 meters to go, and I'm sure the athletes that are going to prevail here are the ones that left enough gas in the tank to get home. This last 50 meters into 200 meters is critical.
Especially when it's short course, that last turn, when you hit the wall and your legs are on fire, the effort it is to push off, it's hard to describe, and those athletes right now are going to be hurting.
Lang from China turns first with 25 meters to go. She's got a slight edge over Kate French from Great Britain, who has a slight edge over Vacalis from Canada. However, in lane 2, we've got Wang from China moving up to pass Vacalis from Canada. Our winner will be Liang from China, Kate French from Great Britain, Wang from China.
Again, we saw those times getting that bit faster, and these athletes, we're going to see some really quick times today in this 25-meter pool. And you can see the effort their swimmers have put into this, hanging onto the lane ropes, waiting to be let out the pool. And at first is our leader from the swim, Liang from China, who completed it in a time of 2 minutes 15.65 seconds. So we're halfway through the swim now. That was the completion of Heat 3 of the 6 heats we've got in this women's final. 36 athletes are competing for this World Championship title. And it's all still very much an open competition.
As we're moving into Heat 4, let's talk about this a little bit. We've had an interesting matchup going on here. We have in Heat 4, in lane 4, we have Qian Chen. Qian Chen was the World Cup winner from Chengdu. She is a remarkable athlete. She knows she was second in the fencing, so she's tied, of course, but she knows she has a real shot for the podium. And in fact, I'm going to make an early prediction and say that we're going to see Kian Chen on the podium this afternoon.
Well, we've already seen her on the podium and the top of it earlier in the week for the women's relay. China absolutely won it by a country mile, and Chan just had to run home with the gold medal, really. She was handed over in a great position, and they led from the very start of the combined.
Now, she's going to be challenged by the 2008 Beijing Olympic champion from Germany, Lena Schöneborn. There's less than a second seed times from their semifinal. In fact, about 0.4 of a second separating the two of them. They are swimming side by side. Schöneborn's in lane 5, Kian Chen in lane 4. I think it's been quite a race. Schöneborn finished third in the fence. Both of these girls can smell the podium.
Yeah, it's going to be a very close race, and they're going to know that every stroke, every little bit of effort, even the start, every turn counts towards the end of this day. And this is the Senior World Championships, Heat 4 of the swimming. Now we're just welcoming the athletes. That was Margot Isaacson from the United States in lane 1.
Let me talk a little about Margot. Margot finished 11 in the fence, a little off the pace. Maybe I would love to have seen her have 1 or 2 victories more to be where she needs to be, but she's in great shape. She swam a personal best in the semifinal, came in at a 2:15. So I think we're going to see something out of Margot in this race, and I'm hoping she's able to put it into the combined. But I think the real race here today is going to be what you're going to see in lanes 4 and 5. Kian Chen from China and Lena Schöneborn from Germany. We'll have quiet for the start. This is Heat 4, women's swimming event, 200-meter freestyle world championships. And they're off.
And that was a good start from Lena Schöneborn. Now Lena swam a very good time in the women's relay earlier in the week. It was just 100 meters. I spoke to her afterwards, and she said that, yeah, she just felt like she was flying. So it'll be interesting to see if she can carry that form over to this 200-meter race right now.
Lena Schöneborn has the early lead. Again, it's only by a sliver of a margin, but she is, gosh, they're approaching the 50-meter mark, and the entire heat flipped exactly at the same time.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a close race. At the moment, no one making any moves. This is coming up to the 75-meter mark. And who have we got at the lead? I think just turning first was lane 4, which is Chen from China, who, as we mentioned earlier, is going to be looking, it's a real threat to being on top of that podium at the end of today.
You know, take a look at her stroke. She's got a rapid turnover, and take a look at Lena Schöneborn's much slower, much more exact. She's catching more water. Chen is a fireball. She's a short in stature, a lot of fast turnover, but there is no dramatic leader at the moment. All the girls are very, very close and within striking distance as they hit the 125.
So we're seeing times a little bit faster than sometimes this year because the competition is being held in a 25-meter pool, meaning the times are, on average, going to be about 2 seconds quicker. Some athletes a little bit more who prefer and have good fast turns. But now at the 100-meter mark, Rob, what have we got?
Our leader is Kian Chen, and then followed by Lena Schöneborn by, honestly, just a sliver. But outside in lane 1, Margot Isaacson is staying with them.
You can see the athletes already starting to tire. Their strokes, Chen especially in lane 4, is just getting a little choppier with her stroke there, and they're going to be starting to hurt now.
And this is where the rubber hits the road. This is all about their training. And look what we have here in lane 3. Yang from Korea has moved into the lead. She will take this heat. It's Yang from Korea. We've got Yang from Korea, and then Schöneborn and Ken touch almost the same moment, followed by Isaacson from the United States.
Now that was some storming finish from Yang in Korea. She came from, well, not from nowhere, but she wasn't in the mix or taking the lead at any point in those last 10 meters. She did it when it mattered. And the leading time from that heat was a finish of 2 minutes 13.99 seconds.
You know, these are fast times. This is a fast pool. I watched Logan Story on the men's side swim a 150 yesterday. This is simply a fast pool. Great conditions for these athletes. Get ready to hold your ears, because in lane 1, in lane 5, we have the Polish favorite, the hometown girl. We're looking at Octavia Nowacka, the winner of the World Cup final this year in Sarasota, Florida. She's struggling a little bit today, but that doesn't deter the Polish fans. They are going to raise the roof when they introduce Octavia Nowacka here in lane 5. They'll be bringing out lane 5, the fifth heat, I'm sorry, not lane 5, heat 5 swimmers here in just a minute.
And now we see the swimmers parading along the poolside.
And here it starts! I love it! God bless Poland. They got a star, and she is a bona fide star. Winning the World Cup final this year, having a breakout season. I really wish she was doing a little better today than she started out on the fence, but her fans are sticking with her.
I don't think you're going to be able to hear us talk in just a moment as the introductions begin.
Watch this. They're starting off. They're going to introduce Octavia Nowacka from Poland. I feel like I'm at a football match. In lane 2 from Ukraine is Anastasia Spaz. Has a real Olympic story behind her. Her home has been destroyed in eastern Ukraine. Elena Rubalevska is taking her in from this competition. She's leaving here and going to live with another athlete because her home was destroyed in a time of conflict. So hats off to the Olympic spirit at play here today. And they're off. It's a fair start for Heat 5.
Now I think it might be a little bit hard for us to commentate over this one, but certainly Nowacka in lane 1 is going to have everyone behind her. She's going to be looking for her personal best with this support.
If this noise can't encourage you, I don't know what else can. Because there's no question. They're all flipping together, with the exception, we have Tamara Vega from Mexico, who's a little behind. The rest of the field is very close. Octavia Nowacka, this is not her forte. She's a good swimmer, but she's a great combined athlete.
Well, actually, just at the 75-meter mark, we had Anna Buryak from Russia just standing first and just taking out the lead as they come up to the 100-meter mark.
Yeah, it looks like our early leaders are Anna Buryak from Russia, followed by Anastasia Spaz from Ukraine. Our early leaders, and right there behind him is Reina Shimazu from Japan. Buryak just came off of that wall. She powered off of that 100-meter mark wall. Extraordinary. And she's increasing the lead. At the 125, it's Buryak. It's Buryak and Shimazu, our leaders, out in lane 2. We got Spaz staying with them. And Nowacka from Poland is hanging on. We got Nowacka hanging on out in lane 1. This is anybody's race with 50 meters to go.
So at the moment we've got Nowacka from Poland in 4th, but the 3 leaders are pretty much neck and neck. Buryak just taking it by quarter of a body length.
We've got Shimazu and Buryak. Shimazu, Buryak, and Spaz. There are 3 leaders, and they are stroke for stroke. But Nowacka is hanging in there. Nowacka is succeeding. You've got Spaz and Buryak, and Nowacka is passing. She's passing Buryak. Oh wow! What a finish! What a great finish!
So that was Spaz taking that in a very fast time of 2 minutes, 10 seconds, .95. Very closely followed by lane 4 from Japan. Shimazu just took the 2nd place. And then in 3rd, Buryak ended up just taking it over Nowacka of Poland in 4th.
This crowd is letting Octavia Novaska know they are here for her.
Now we've just got the one heat remaining, and this is going to be the fastest of our 6 heats. And I think we're going to see some very quick times. But the crowd are still going crazy for Novaska. This is great to see, but she'll definitely carry that through for the rest of her competition today, even though she's had a slightly disappointing fence. But she's going to be climbing back up through the field with that combined event that she has later this afternoon.
Now let's talk a little bit about the 6th and final heat of the women's swimming event here in Warsaw, Poland. We're coming at you live, but the 2 swimmers, we have the silver and bronze medalists from the London Olympic Games in the same heat. We've got Samantha Murray, one of your teammates, Heather, in lane 4 with the fastest sea time, I believe. No, Elodie Clavel has a couple tenths faster. But out in lane 6 from Brazil, Yanni Marques. You know, I've been to Rio recently, and Yanni Marques is all over that city. You drive through Rio, and they've got billboards with her on the billboards. Rio is really building for a great showdown in 2016.
Now it's going to be an interesting race because from the semi-final times we've got a significant gap. Elodie Clavel from France and Samantha Murray from Great Britain are going to take this out, and they are going to leave the rest of the field standing. They've got over 2 seconds on the next athlete, and I think they're going to go even faster in this final.
You know, and I'm dating myself a little bit here, but I see that we've got Clavel and Murray both coming in with C times up to 2:05. It wasn't that long ago that the women's world record in swimming was a 2:01.
Now we are swimming short course here today, so we're going to see some even faster times than usual, but these athletes have peaked for this, and I know Samantha Murray in the women's relay earlier this week swam very fast, and she knows she is in great shape.
So we'll be keeping an eye out for on lanes 3 and 4 for the swimming event, but out in lane 5 from Hungary you've got Sorolta Kovacs. Sorolta Kovacs actually is tied for 5th place after the fencing. She is the most likely athlete to make the podium. However, her run is frankly not quite up to par these days. And let's have it quiet for the start on the final heat of lane 6 of Women's World Championships. And they're off.
Now it's interesting, Elodie Clavel, who's seeded fastest, she actually had a very poor start there, but she's going to be climbing back. They're just coming up to the first 25-meter mark of this women's 200-meter race, and this is the final heat, the fastest heat by a long way.
And we should mention that out in lane 2, that's an open lane, and it's open for a reason. Sofia Foldhazy from Hungary was to have been in that lane. She was injured in this morning's fencing event and has been forced to withdraw.
Now Samantha Murray has just taken that first 50 meters out in 28.5 seconds. She has taken a considerable lead and left Elodie Clavel and Shotzi Kovacs struggling in her wake. And coming up to the 100-meter mark, nothing is changing at the moment.
It's Murray all the way. It's Samantha Murray, a body length as they approach the 100-meter mark. Elodie Clavel barely holding on to second.
And Samantha just turns in a 59.1. That is rapid. She is going out 100% in this final, and she is on for a very fast time. She's not showing any signs of letting up this pace, and it's going to be very much a battle for the points behind Sam at the moment as she turns, and she is not looking back.
Murray doesn't look like she's tiring at all. She has about 70 meters to go, but it is a race for second. You've got Elodie Clavel out in lane 3, and in lane 5 you've got Kovacs from Hungary. So it's Clavel and Kovacs turning together with 50 meters to go, and Kovacs now has a slight lead over Elodie Clavel.
Now this is incredible. Elodie Clavel has come from a swimming background, and she has been left standing by Samantha Murray, who's currently 10 meters lead from Elodie. Shotzi Kovacs from Hungary is just taking into second position at the moment. Elodie Clavel in third, and we are coming into the last 10 meters of this fastest heat, and it's going to be a very quick time.
It's Murray way out in front, and you've got Kovacs in second, and Clavel is trying to hold off Sotero from Italy, and I don't know that she did it.
And you can see the emotion, you can hear the emotion. Samantha Murray is very happy with her swim there. She swam 2 minutes, 3 seconds and a new world record for the short course women's swimming event. That girl is obviously on her peak fitness. That is a massive personal best for Samantha Murray from Great Britain. And she is going to shoot up the leaderboard with the points she's got from that swim.
I mean, what can you say? A world championships and a world record. That says enough.
So it's going to be very interesting to see how everybody moves up and down on the leaderboard after that. Samantha Murray definitely leaping way up from her mediocre fence that she was quite disappointed with, but we will join you over at the riding to see what happens after this swimming and fencing event so far today.
Absolutely. These ladies will change clothes, put into their riding attire, and they will be out walking the riding course. And as this circus moves back to the riding event, we are delighted to be reporting from the World Championships here live from Warsaw, Poland at the Women's World Championships final.